Agent, die. Tlogela coach wa ka man, tlogela coach wa ka. Okay, so I think I'm just going to start the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. I do this every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon, and then also Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. Tonight, we're going to have a double-header episode. Double-header episode, a watch-along at 7:30. I'm going to be watching both matches somehow. And we'll see how it works. I think I've got something. I think I've got a way to do it. But yeah, Wednesdays, 8 p.m. You can also watch the show. There are watch-alongs, as I've said. If you do happen to miss out on any of the shows or any of the episodes, and you want to hear what I've been speaking about, what my panels have been speaking about, Monday, we had an agent on to speak to us about agent matters. We spoke about a preview for tonight's match with Sundowns and Pirates yesterday in the afternoon. So there's really cool episodes. They're all available on Facebook and on YouTube. So please do me the favor of following on TikTok, following the Facebook page, and also subscribing to the YouTube page, where you'll be able to find a lot more content that I can't put on here. If you're listening on Facebook or you've watched an episode or clip on YouTube and you're wondering where these voices come from that join my panels, just know that you have to be following me here on TikTok, and then you'll be able to, at some point, I'll say, I'm opening up the lines. A button will appear at the bottom of the screen that says multi-guest. You'll be able to click that button and join in. Here, man. And join in to the show. That was very weird. It's because I'm talking about Chiefs, isn't it? Is that what happens? So also, guys, I just want to say, please support the creators that do these things. Some of us run these platforms out of our own pockets, and because I'm not allowed to get monetized, it's becoming a little bit hard to keep this up. So if you can please donate a little something, man. A little something to help keep this up. It's very important that you help us who are creators of these things that are not on television, not on mainstream media. It really does help us keep these things running. So please, there's a link with an account number, and please support us, man. Support us. Okay. Whew. So there's a link in this profile, in the TikTok profile, and in my bio on Facebook, there's a Capitech account that you guys can donate to. So if you click on the link tree here on TikTok, you'll be able to it'll take you to a place where it's got all my links, but also the account number to donate, guys. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so for those who say that this is the Chiefs and Rulani show, today is one of those days. Chiefs, of course, is playing Supersport. For those who missed out, yesterday we did speak about Pirates versus Sundowns. I saw a comment right now. I saw a comment that's saying that this is the king, the Scop and Donner, derby. El Clasico. And to be honest, that's what it is. I've watched a couple of the Supersport games and highlights and things, and it seems like they are a helicopter football team. Very much a wide playing team. They go wide, then they attack through two players coming down centrally, and they cross the ball a lot. And they try and get they try and get goals from the chaos. That's mainly what they do. It's crosses. If it is a set piece, they try to put the set piece as close to the goalkeeper as possible, so that if he punches, if he falls, if he trips, if he does whatever, it falls to another Supersport player and they score through that way. So, seeing that, we know Gutavana today is going to be, Mosimane and Lekau are going to be very, very busy, as well as Santi, and I'm gonna say Kikwinika is going to be playing on the other side. So they're going to be very busy because Supersport does not seem to want to play the ball centrally. They don't care about putting the ball down, playing centrally. It is all wide, putting crosses in, which I guess Mosimane and Lekau are okay with. I think I trust them enough. They're in the center for them to deal with these things. The only person I don't trust in this regard is going to be Peterson. Because if Supersport play anything like the few games that they've been playing, Peterson is going to get a lot of balls directly at him. And if he's prone to make a mistake or two in the game. So that's the only worrying factor. On the other side, Supersport can't deal with pace. From what I've seen, because they commit so many people forward, if you catch them on a break, they cannot deal with pace. And if we can use Dupree properly, if we can use Umodi, I'm going to suspect it's Modi going to be playing. If we can use those guys properly, we can put a lot of pressure on that Supersport defense because they tend to defend in a 3, but one of the guys pushes forward and makes it like a 2 in the back. So if you can hit them on the break, you can catch them out, which is something that Chiefs has been saying that is what we're going to do, has been kicking the ball to Dupree, hoping that's what he's going to do. And it's going to be one of those games where I think Supersport is going to have enough. Chiefs is going to have enough pace to be able to take them on. But we'll see if Abo Gonzalez will come to the party. Guys, I'm going to open up the lines now. Please request and you can join me and we can speak a little bit about what agent is calling Skop and Donner El Clasico. Hey guys. Mara, you guys, his son, thank you so much for the gift. Guys, you'll be able to request and join me. Remember, if you're on TikTok and you're wondering what's going on, please, you can join me on if you're on Facebook and you're wondering where these voices are coming from, join me on TikTok and you'll be able to join and add your voice to the show, like the people that I'm going to be putting on now. Let's go. Malume Khoza, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm well, how are you, Mr. OT?
I'm okay, my brother. I'm okay. I'm good.
How's the sound? Is the sound proper?
Nah, you're far away. It sounds like you're far away. Just one more. Just try again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Much better.
Yeah, no, now we're talking about the main game.
I can't know who Sundowns Liverpool Pirates. You are well represented.
No, you're well represented, and hey, for the first time, there's a lot of Sundowns supporters. I think we need a recount. Yeah, no, it's a wrong.
It's not 57. It's not 57.
Yeah. They are coming out of the woodworks everywhere. You're like, how? You support Sundowns? When? Since when?
Tell me, Malume Khoza, I know I'm taking you out of your comfort zone. Tell me what you think about this Supersport and Kaizer Chiefs game.
An interesting game, in all honesty. Also, as 2 stars, well, we don't know what's happening with Supersport there with those stars. But a lot of experienced players will be taken to the field. For example, you've got Bosianda Kulu, you've got Tyson Sachwa, Robla, Sukamanja. Supersport has some really experienced campaigners, I understand. And they've got an experienced coach in the sense in which they will know what it takes to win that game. I understand. Chiefs, not tip-top shape at the moment, lacking support. They don't have enough supporters as it stands to sort of have an edge over the opposing team. They still have to work for it. But we know Castillo will rise to the occasion. We know he'll be taking shots. So I foresee a long 1-1 draw.
A long one.
Very long.
After all those nice words, then at the end you're like, aye. Draw.
It's very beautiful on paper, but in real life, it's one of those games that you'll watch from the first minute. When Umakale Sotso work at 20 minutes, you're like, hey, there's a game playing here. And then you'll doze off again, wake up, you'll find out 70th minute, 1-1, you'll be asking who scored or checking Google, and you'll see, oh, it's Castillo. Next, you're sleeping.
Hi, Maracuzo.
So that's all I'm saying. 1-1. I can even say Zuga Manja and Castillo on the score sheet.
Okay. Is it that predictable? But it's fine. Let me bring in Mark. Mark, how are you doing, my brother? No, right, Njam. Tell me, what are your thoughts about Supersport Chiefs tonight?
I think we're gonna see the same thing from the Royal AM game.
Okay.
I think Supersport is going to defend a lot, and I think with Kaizer Chiefs they're gonna come out attacking, gun blazing. So I think it's gonna be a boring game because we're gonna see Supersport defending, like the same thing that happened on the Royal AM game. I see a draw there. I don't see much there. I only see a draw.
Okay. Are you scared at all about Supersport and their crossing? Because it seems as though they put a lot of crosses in, and Peterson has a mistake every now and then.
I have confidence in Peterson now. I think we've got a goalkeeper there. Our defense, Simango and the guys, I trust the guys now. The only thing we're missing is that final shot. If we can have that final shot, if guys like Gonzalez, if Gonzalez can find his momentum, and I think he can get goals for us.
Okay, my brother.
But
let me go on.
But the way these teams are doing it now these days, I see Supersport defending a lot. It's gonna be very difficult.
Okay, I'm gonna come back when we speak properly about these guys. Agent 007, welcome to the show. Please, no shots today. No shots today. No show. You've got your match to look out for. No shots today, please.
Yeah, Asia, I would stay away from Kamish, Chiefs fans and that Kamish. So, but I think it would be good if you guys can borrow us your Muti man also. So you guys like Muti man also.
Your Muti man has won you 7 leagues. Why do you want my Muti man?
No, man, this snake is tired. We'll have to use it for Saturday. Bring us your Muti man. Because Pirates Multiman is strong, man. Pirates Multiman is strong, and I hear they're gonna talk with Gokoma Wayne there. So hey, bring us, please.
Tell me, what do you think of this game, Pela? Supersport is technically your neighbors, even though they're playing in POLOKWANE. Technically your neighbors, also a Pretoria team. What do you think of this game, Supersport Chiefs?
Yeah, our academy also, all in one. It's. So I think it's a very interesting game, My worry is here, to combine the games. Everyone is expecting the Sundowns Paris game to be fireworks, to be everything, and expecting a dull one in the Supersport one and Chiefs game, But sometimes, these games, because it's two big teams, equally matched teams, they cancel each other out, and it becomes a boring game, And with where we expect a boring game, because it's two good defensively good teams, one has taken initiative, and that can become an interesting game, But obviously, we're all gonna expecting there's going to be a boring game, and I think it's two defensive teams with two different defensive structures and strategies. With Chiefs, you would have a quick transition. Let's get to the box as soon as possible. And then with Supersport, they're an in-moment team. I think when we talk about tactics a bit later on, we'll talk how they create those moments. For them is, let's be defensively organized. Let's keep the door shut. And when you get corners, like you're saying, what they do is, I like it. I think I saw the game against what was that? Where they won 2-1. Was it Stellenbosch?
Stellenbosch.
Yeah, I think Stellis. Yeah. So they create a lot of confusion and chaos in the penalty box, so that you don't know what's going on, and the constant thing is either Robla, Igadaro, or this boy, Zukamanja, will always have a free head in that confusion and chaos. How they create it is very interesting. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game. And I think is the master of defense plus an upcoming defensive coach. So it will be very interesting, defensive wise.
Let me bring in Lucky. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. How are you guys?
No, we're okay, my brother. Tell me, Lucky, Supersport United versus Kaizer Chiefs. What are your general thoughts about this game?
Very, very interesting game. I think I'm going to say Supersport will win this one. Looking at they are more concentrating on the weekend's game, and then if you look at where Supersport came, they have not been collecting points. So I think they are going for a win, and I see Chiefs making so many changes. I could tell if I think I could say Frosla or Dove, even Dolly. You could see Dolly today. Maybe 5 changes so that they can play both these games, because if they play their best team today, it's going to be difficult. They can't be risking injuries and yellow cards for Saturday. So most of the players they will rest. 4 or 5 players will rest for today. So I think overall Supersport will do better. But I was looking at this thing of playing there at Peter Mkaba. I saw Kevin Hunt's interview, the game where they lost to Eros. They asked him, and then he didn't say a thing. He was like, what can I say? But it is affecting Supersport also.
Yes.
It's a bit far there. I don't know what's happening with what is this stadium? Lucas Muripe there. If they can play.
There's another team that wants it and got it, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it's going to be a very interesting game there. But overall, Chiefs won't be playing today. They are looking for a point will be fine for them.
And if I can jump in before coming to Malume Kuto, when we talk about today's game, firstly, the record over the past 5 games is that Supersport is 1-2, Kaizer Chiefs is 1-2. There's been 1 draw. We're coming against a Gavin Hunt that is very good at ugly. That is very good at, we're not sure how he's winning, but he always finishes third. They play a very forceful game. And like Agent said, it's a lot of crosses. It's a lot of goalmouth, scrambling goals. And they do that type of thing. Malume Kuto, when we go to Supersport United's side and we speak about them, Gavin has been doing this type of thing for years. Should we expect any different from him in this game?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I think we've watched him over and over again to know Jorge. Not to expect anything else but that goalmouth scramble the entire game. He will obviously have some skillful quality players, but they'll also be not necessarily limited but directed towards a specific type of game. And Campbell is a good example. Excellent cross off the ball, and he'll be tasked to do exactly that, to say Msimango and Kimandi Klogo, or whoever who will partnering with Msimango, they must not rest. Headaches, because it will be cross after cross after cross. And the game, it's giving third and fourth playoff vibes,
Okay.
Yeah, we know the final will be in Orlando. Where will this game be playing? Get third place and fourth place. It's just a playoff, man.
Yeah.
And I think whoever wins it, in all seriousness now, whoever wins it probably has a chance to go number 3 or number 4. This is where
Mara already Supersport is 5 points ahead of us. Game in hand.
in the meantime, it's still very early, guys. Second half, when people, at this point last season, there was a team, I think they were first place, and they barely survived Ilona. Being in the league. That's Richards Bay. If people remember, last season at this time, Richards Bay were flying. They were neck on neck with Sundowns. Today, they're struggling to get a win. I don't think they've managed by 2 wins in a row since then. So it's still early. Whoever is number 3 right now, they just placeholders, as you usually say.
Do you think that the Gaborone game that Supersport played is going to factor in this game?
No, not necessarily. As I've said, or Supersport key season campaigners, they know how to limit damage, and they know how to focus on a specific game. So I'm sure during the game, they knew there's an important game coming up, and even the coach had already planned out his starting lineup for the Kaizer Chiefs game. So I do not expect any impact whatsoever. Because experienced coach, experienced players, and also game model not as taxing, not as demanding physically in terms of endurance. You can actually play like that 5 games in a row with the same lineup. Well, according to me.
How is the POLOKWANE experience? Do you think that it's messing with Supersport? Will it give us a chance?
Well, actually, that's a positive side for Chiefs, that they're going to POLOKWANE, which I think is their second home away from home. That's where you have proper Chiefs support. If Chiefs want to move their games anyway, it should always be POLOKWANE, because they've got a proper support base who always show up. If they don't show up today, I'll be surprised, but I'll be a bit understanding, because there's a bit of wish to see, sorry to refer to it, but everyone wants to see the Pirates game. I mean, Luena as a Kosi fan, you want to see that Pirates game. So I'll understand for today, but if Chiefs want a home game, they should always go to POLOKWANE. The numbers are always good. So Supersport, and anyway, I don't think Supersport have ever thought today we'll be relying on the 12th man ever in their entire existence. They don't know what that looks like. They just play their drums. When the drum majorites are tired, they play music that sounds like the drum majorites. So, issue home ground, Coach Gavin will be misleading us. He tried it when Sundowns got that stadium revamped, paid from their own pockets to meet the standards. And he started complaining a bit to say, but this is unfair. We should be playing our games, guy. And I'm sure the team pointed it out to him that the stadium was not available. And instead of spending money, we were offered money by the municipality. So we couldn't have made any other decision but to visit that very stadium.
Okay. Marai, that 3-hour trip. Let me go to Agent 007. Agent 007, let's talk about Supersport now. Supersport, they've got a couple of things. This home ground thing, they played in Africa over the weekend. Should we expect anything different from them? Would they change their approach for this Chiefs match?
No, I think likely for them, I think it's just going to be a normal week for them, because it's not like they travel to Africa. They traveled next door, and with a flight, it's like an hour, less than an hour. So it is the same as, here to Johannesburg while driving. So it's the same thing, and they don't have a game on the weekend because it's M10-8. So yeah, it's just a normal week in PSL. You have a game on the weekend, another game on the weekday, And I think, to talk about Supersport, I think Supersport is best is the Supersport of 2007, because it's the same thing, it's the same strategy, the same thing, Gavin Holt will always play 4-4-2, and I'm interested in something that I picked up, and is like he is playing in the middle of the park as opposed to as a fullback, but I guess that's because Keegan is also a good crosser, so you can have like he there to make the passes they want. But it's going to be very organized defensively. You know, they are one of the two teams that I've watched who can keep a straight defensive line. Like, you can literally see lines in the game, you know. I think on that team, which is drink like that, is Stellenbosch, you know. So they do have a deep defensive line. There's literally zero space between the keeper and that line of Okulu and Tyson, you know.
But that defense has mistakes.
Yeah, because I think
you can pressure them.
Yeah, because I think the problem is Ufumbizai, Tlaswayo, Okulu, Johannes. Remember, you guys, there's a certain team there that I know which influences players to drop contracts so they can get them on as free agents. You guys have taken apart that defense in Luke Fluis also. So this is a relatively new defense, you know.
Okay.
So I think they're still trying to defend as a unit, you know. And for once, you have a situation where Grant doesn't have two natural sixes, you know. You look at that, they have Olake, Mahman, and Ndlovu. Naturally, they're not that defensive. They're more attacking than anything else. So I think even them, they are exposing the defense. But I think that's a bit of a revolution from Hunt, because he's trying to maybe play a bit better, not necessarily be defensive always, because Olake and Mahman are two good technical players, you know. And what I've realized is what they do is, like I think you mentioned it also, that they are so compact in the middle of the park that they force you to go wide, you know. And when you go wide, they're comfortable with crosses. You can play crosses all day long. You know how to cut them. Even Goss is good with cutting crosses, you know. I think it's, again, is what they do when they have the ball. That's when they become a bit weak team, you know, because defensively they're very sound, they're very disciplined, in as much as they have their own faults. But when they have the ball, that's where they're shaky, because it's like they don't know what to do, you know. It's like, okay, fine, what do we do? We have the ball now, what do you do? We're in a position where we can get a corner, you know. So what they do is, or like K or Mahman, I think, most especially Mahman, he is trying to play passes to Uzuka Manja. But Uzuka Manja, we know him. He's strong, really, not on the feet. Same thing as Ugodaru, you know. So it's difficult for them, you know. But both of them, what they do is, if they do pump balls forward, both of them, they have good hold-up play. They want to hold up, force mistakes, and Ofumbiza, Johannes, they cross, they get a corner. I think for them, crossing is not necessarily to score, is to get a corner. You know, because what they do is they have some players acting as shields, and then what they do is they create confusion. I don't know why. There's just a lot going on there. When the ball comes in, they push towards the center, towards the keeper. But somehow there's always going to be that runner, the striker, who's going to head the ball. You know, you should watch out. You should watch out for that. You know, if you guys have a corner, watch out for Zuka Manch and Igodaro. Those ones, don't mind them. They're just there to create confusion. But be careful of those two.
Okay, Lucky, tell me about this Supersport team. How do you feel about them? Are they going to change what they're going to do? Will Gavin try to do something different versus Chiefs?
I think Gavin will attack, or go into this game is going to approach it with an attacking minded, because knowing that Chiefs will be playing on Saturday and then he will be resting. So it is more going to be attacking. As you know, Gavin Nantes, all classic coach, he depends more on crosses and then the two. But if Chiefs try to play from the back, that is where they are good, because most of the time we look at Supersport as creating confusion and corners and those stuff. But if you look how they set up traps for teams that try to build there at the back, you'll understand Ndlovu and Magaman. That situation looks more like a confusion, because the center back will try to do something, and they did against Chiefs, against Sundowns. Chiefs, they did against Sundowns their first game, where they passed the ball in the middle, their goalkeeper. So watch out for those moments where if the goalkeeper tries to play fancy or somewhat. I think their back four is very, very experienced. I wanted who's this left back? Their captain. But Fumbuzai is playing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that boy on the right, who's this boy? Is it Keegan Johannes or who? Yeah,
Johannes.
Johannes. Yeah, he's playing very well. Overall, they are going to win the middle field, obviously. Magaman and who's this boy? Magaman and Jofu. Those boys, they work those boys. Even though they look like an attacking players, but if you look at Jofu, he's more of a box-to-box player. Never stops running all the time. He covers lots of ground. And then when it comes to set piece, then we know that Chiefs, they don't have to make lots of set pieces because they have Lekau, they have they have Campbell, they have their three defenders, Tlatswayo, even Fumbedzai, Kulu, they have a striker, who's this? Krobler. They also have Krobler. So when it comes to set pieces, even set pieces, free kicks, who's this? Lekau can score from free kicks. So it's going to be interesting. I don't see Chiefs coming out from this game. Truly speaking, there's no way to come out from this game because looking at Chiefs,
I'm gonna come back for Chiefs. Let me do another round. I think if I can jump in, I think this is going to be one of those games where, like Agent said, this is a team that plays in moments, and they've got a tactic. We know that it's going to be helicopter football. We know that it's going to be that type of football that they're going to come out with. So that tactic is not going to change necessarily. And to be honest with you, I don't think Chiefs poses enough threat for Gavin to want to change his system. So I think they're going to stay pound for pound, quote unquote, and we'll see from there. Malume Kutso, let's open the can of worms. Kaizer Chiefs. The performance versus Royal AM was, some might say, dull. You could see a lot of the things, a lot of the problems that Kaizer Chiefs has. Do you think that ntseki going into this match and knowing that he's going to be playing Sundowns over the weekend, do you think he's going to change anything? And do you think he should?
He'll definitely field the strongest side.
Okay.
If there's one thing he needs to do is field the strongest side, just to get the momentum. If he doesn't, then he'll be in trouble. Remember, we are from a long FIFA break. Felt extremely long. And I'm a player, maybe Babang, they haven't warmed up well. So we still need to get back into a rhythm. They didn't have much rhythm anyway, but you need that rhythm in terms of starting lineup and familiarity with the player next to you. So I foresee him continuing in that vein, not necessarily changing. And I think it's worth noting with you guys, this team that we bash so much, if they don't lose today, they make it 5 games unbeaten. They're not in the business of losing. I think in the past 6 games, if not 7, 6 games, Chiefs has only conceded 2 goals. That is a very good defensive return for a team that is seemingly, or rather, said to be doing badly. So if we look at it from that perspective, I don't see him changing much. He's got a set lineup. He's got a set scheme. He's got a set preferred way of playing. I don't see him changing much. Instead,
what is the strongest team? Because now we've seen Gonzalez starting. We've seen Potsani in some games. Potsani is not in the other games. We've seen Quinika playing some of these. What is the strongest team?
Strongest team is definitely the 3 of Potsane, Modi, as well as Utupre. That's the preferred lineup.
And then do we see Mduduzi coming back for this one?
That's the only position up for grabs. And if you look at what was tested against Royal AM was, can we play with a big striker in the picture of Kanakimba and this guy Gonzalez, or do we go back to speed? And can we replace Mduduzi or George Matlou? George could have done better.
Okay.
Maybe that's where they could introduce Mduduzi or Uzwane, because clearly Tanzania hasn't done himself much favors, and the coach is looking at him thinking, I think I can actually replace you. I understand. I think those are the only two positions in question, but the structure will remain the same. It will be 3 in the middle, it will be 3 up front, 4 at the back. Whether it's Gonzalez or Dupree leading the charge, could also be Usaile. I think testing out Usaile could be a great option right now. They need to at least start him in the middle and see or start him out wide with Dupree and see what he can that yield results. I understand. But what I can give to Coach Ntseki is stability. He has a straight spine, and he just tweak it here and there. But Peterson is there, Nsimango is there, Castillo and Matt always there. So it's up to them.
Are they going to be a little bit more? How do I put it? Do you feel as though they'll have a little bit more freedom, knowing that Supersport is a crossing side? Do you think they will maybe push a little bit further on the one side, and then in the midfield? Do you think in the midfield and defense? Do you think that Supersport attacking with extra men is going to maybe expose Mart a little bit as our 6?
Well, I think when you play against Supersport, it does not necessarily give you more freedom. I think it limits you even more, because in the back of your mind, they are looking for that moment. They are looking for a lapse of concentration, and if I lose the concentration, that is when they'll pounce. Well, I understand. So you go in with that caution to say, guys, concentration for 90 minutes plus at a time, no mistake. And that way you give Supersport no breathing room. Because I think Supersport is waiting for our mistakes. Yes, they do somewhat. I agree with Agent, which they create those mistakes. But once you go in, the only way to beat Supersport is just to concentrate and do the right things. Yes, one might say, but that's how you win all your games. You concentrate. But with Supersport specifically, if you concentrate and you limit your mistakes, you definitely limit the chances of scoring. So for me now, what I see, I actually see Omar bombing forward a bit more. Because you see, when you play with 2 8s, just like Chiefs do, right? It's all beautiful because they can both attack and defend. But once you force an 8 to continuously defend, they somewhat get tired and frustrated, and that is when you get chances. That is when you see a lapse of concentration. During the week, over the weekend, a group of young boys were playing, two established teams, but didn't one.
Yeah.
But something happened. You see star players, they tend to play all of these positions, but they have their preferred position. So this one boy was playing as a winger, but when things got tough, they sent him to centre back. And he was doing very well. But out of the blue, he started doing step overs, trying to eliminate defenders.
Yeah.
And I told the coach, you can't blame him. You can't just expect someone to immediately switch on and off like that. He's been playing as a winger for the past, I don't know how many games, but because of Shubin himself, he's going to do what he usually does. So eventually, if you take Ama 8 and you hammer them, you put them under pressure, eventually one of them is going to do exactly what Castillo did against Sundowns. Otomata will turn nicely without even observing, thinking, if I lose the ball, kick center. Can't you know? This time, when you lose the ball, you are right in the 18 area. So if Chiefs can also take that, reverse it and apply it to Supersport, apply pressure to Magaman as well as Undlovu, then they can get some results from that.
How do we score? Because for me, I know how Supersport is going to look to score. I know their tactic. Have you figured out what Ntseki is trying to do in attack?
Look, how do you score against Supersport first? That's a two-folded question. It's against Supersport and as Chiefs. So against Supersport, there's a player by the name of Kama Billiard who knew Rulani Hlachwayo likes sending a message. And if there's one thing Kama Billiard likes a defender to do, is send a message. Kama Billiard does not switch off his data. He's always on some, please send that message. You understand?
Yeah.
He likes it when you kick him. He will come at you relentless. That's why he has so many injuries. So what he would do is he would invite Rulani to send that message, and immediately Rulani is on a yellow card. And then that's why he starts doing all of these funny mistakes. That's why balls are bouncing in the 18 era. No one knows which should I commit. Are you gonna commit? Remember, I'm on a yellow card. I really can't. One understand? Because Uhlachwayo likes sending a message. So if you can, but Dupree, unfortunately, what's happened? I've seen him run away from AB, and I was like, how are you an attacker, co-professional, and you are visibly running away from being kicked? Even the commentator said, it seems like Dupree has taken the message that he's going to be kicked and he's running away. So if you can get a brave attacker on Uhlachwayo, Uhlachwayo won't kick you. What he's going to do is that he's going to fling his foot when he kicks that ball, and the foot is going to go towards your face. Allow him to do that and take that foot on the shoulder so that he plays under pressure. Understand? And right now, Chiefs' philosophy is give the ball to Modi, and let's see what Modi can come up with. Understand? Modi, try and find to pray. I don't think Supersport has enough speed down the middle. Yes, maybe on the flanks, but I've seen Kanakembang, that guy, the former Bloemfontein Celtic defender. The tall guy. I've seen him exposed.
I'm trying to find his name.
I've seen him,
go on.
He was turned by Uloch when we got a penalty. He tends to overcommit without thinking, how am I going to turn? I press one touch. And that's how we got that MTN 8. He fully committed to Uloch, and Uloch said, I'm going to play it behind you. And he couldn't do anything. Instead, he opted to hold Uloch and give away a penalty. So I don't see much pace for Supersport at the back. So it actually plays into Chiefs' game, because Chiefs right now, they're trying to become this team Edlalanka pace. So Supersport is a really great team to play against right now.
Okay. Agent, when you look at Kaizer Chiefs and how we play, there's some questions and things that we can ask about Kaizer Chiefs, but what are they going to do in this game that's going to be different from any of the games that we played, if they change anything?
Yeah, I think like what Butukus was saying, it's all about concentration, because you're playing against an in-moment team, you must always be at 100% switched on, because they're going to exploit you at your weakest, So, and my problem is Peterson and Mosimane and Motsepe. They have this lapse in concentration, and you can afford that against Supersport. That's my worry there with Chiefs. But tiki-taka ball, let's see. I think
break it down for me, because now I've tried to understand it. I know half of it. I know defensively what he's doing, but can you give me what's happening up front?
I think let me start with the problem with Chiefs is the substitutions. You guys, whatever the tactic is, you must always have a target man, The problem is you take out a target man, then you bring in ball players who naturally they're not gonna be shooting or doing anything. That anything is pass, cross. But a question to who? That's where the problem comes in with Chiefs, especially because when they start, it makes sense that they have a target man and the target man drops. The reason why the target man drops, so Gonzalez drops, is so that he can drag the fullbacks. And then the fullbacks come in, drop, and then the Breeze and Modi have the space, So it makes sense to do that, So the problem is when you start to shoot to Gonzalez because he gets tired, you have to bring in not Osai. Osai is a winger. You have to bring in Oranga. So that now, because you're bringing in Bo Shabalala and others and everything like that, you have a target man who they can cross to, because they won't shoot, they'll just pass and cross. I think that's where he gets it wrong, that he's not replacing a like for like, And even if you bring in Osaile, you must tell him, stay in the box. Stay in the box. You get, don't run up and down. I think that's where the first problem of Chiefs comes in, And Peterson I've always defended Peterson that he always saves you guys. He gives you a 9 out of 10, but he has a mistake in him, So sometimes you have to balance and say, do I want a keeper to give me a 7 or 6 out of 10, but doesn't have that mistake in him, like Williams. Williams is not, I don't think he's better than Peters in terms of short stopping, but he'll always give you a consistent 7 out of 10 with no mistakes. Peters will give you a 9 out of 10, but still give a mistake which a team like Supersport will exploit, And we talked about Gonzalez dropping in, and I think
before we move on with Gonzalez dropping in, isn't part of the issue that Chiefs doesn't play towards the strengths of the guys that are on the pitch? So if you have a pacey team, so if you start off with Potsani Duprea and Potsani Duprea and Modi, then you're going for a bit of pace, then you'd expect balls in behind. If you're playing with a Ranga, if you're playing with a Gonzalez, you'd expect the target man play, but also maybe your crosses could go somewhere. If now you take those guys off and you bring in the ball players, you'd expect the ball to be played. Like, for example, Sundowns didn't have a focal point with Peter Shalulile. So what happened was it became a lot about movement, So isn't it that, man, for me, it feels as though, yes, we're making changes and bringing on different personnel, but we're not changing the way we're playing in order to suit those guys.
Yeah, I think the problem is again with substitutions, that it's like you guys, I don't know, it's like an alarm, I've set an alarm to ring at half one. It's not ring at half one. Just like, that's my worry with Chiefs. It's like 65 minutes, Ahly has to come in, Shabalala has to come in, or Zwane has to come in. They're not looking at the game, And even I don't think it's a bad thing to have that. But if that's a tactic that 65th minute I make a substitution, then we must have a plan for that, because you can't be making the same mistake. That why is it that we are not receiving ball, but we have short players in? You must be saying, okay, fine. After 65th minute, we change tactics. We are going to try and penetrate through the defense. We're going through the middle, not wide now. I think that's why Ntseki is getting it wrong. I don't know why he's not doing that, because clearly it's a tactic that 65th minute we bring in ball playing teams. And it's very interesting. I think another person who is very interesting for me is Castillo. He's always making this incredible late runs to the box, so it's very interesting because his movement. Yeah, it's like where you expect your midfielders your attacking midfielders to be, when the ball's out wide, that's where Castillo is, And I think we saw that against Sundowns first game where he got exposed for doing that. So I think what Ntseki did, to his credit, he said, okay, fine. Like Mabutu Kuzo is saying, if you are having players who are natural, not defenders, and you make them defend, then they get tired and they make silly mistakes, So I think, to his credit, what Ntseki said is, okay, fine, you guys, Castillo, Mark, and whoever, Shabalala or Lekau, whoever it is, what you guys gonna do is, you guys are gonna rotate in that position, 6, 8, 10. You guys are rotating, and it's very interesting because I've never seen that. So I think that was to just counteract that effect that Uabutukuso was saying, that they tend to make mistakes if they continually defend. So you find Omar as a 6, sometimes as an 8, sometimes you find Castillo as an 8, sometimes as a 10. And I think Castillo is the one who is always between 8 and 10 rather than 8 and 6, because I think technically he's good. He has a shot in him. He knows how to position himself. So I think he's Chiefs' attacking point also, besides Udubri, And then I think Mark also is important. I think I realized this with Mark this season, that he has very good diagonal balls, over the top. Able to find Dupri, able to find Saile. He is very good at that. I think for me, I would find someone who can be a 6 and let Mark be an 8 and Castillo 10, so that they can ping those balls, because the problem with Mark is he has that lapse in concentration in him. He's always looking for the next long pass, so he closes his eyes to the short passes that he can make. And sometimes you don't have to play long balls, just have to play them short. So I think that's the problem with Chiefs.
Defensively, when he's under pressure, if you sustain the pressure on him.
You press him, he panics. He gets tired, he panics, and I think it goes back to what Abu Khoza say, that he's natural not a 6, so his natural instinct is not to defend, and my problem lastly is with Chiefs is against teams like Sundowns, Pirates, which this team also is playing expensive football. No, I'm not saying big teams, I'm just saying teams usually attack you, is you can be having, you can have Motsepe and not Khanye, so that Khanye can overlap, create an overload, and then crosses and stuff like that. And then we are always going to have a stable back three of Motsepe, Mosimane, and Lekau, and Mark can always slot in between. But when you're playing against a team like Supersport, like Royal EM, you are not necessarily expecting to be attacked that much. So this is a game for me, for Rifrosla and Khanye, so that you always have one of them going and one of them dropping. And they're always good on crosses also, So I think that's my other problem. And lastly, with substitutions, I think you just have to work on substitutions. Bring in Oranga for Gonzalez. And then Modi or whoever, put in for Saile. Because I think Saile, I've seen him when he starts a game, he struggles. But once he comes as an impact sub, he does well, So yeah, I think that's Chiefs.
Score prediction?
2-1 Chiefs.
Okay. Because the Malume Kutso said it's gonna be a long throw, but it's fine. Lucky, tell me about Kaizer Chiefs. How do they play? What are we gonna do this game? Because for me, this is one of the games where we might struggle because Supersport is also not gonna be attacking like that, as the agent said.
Supersport won't be attacking. No. Supersport will be attacking. As I said in the beginning, that the concentration for Chiefs is on Saturday. So today they're just honoring the game, looking at the thing. That's why I said there will be so many changes, maybe 4 or 5 changes in the lineup, and then you could even see Dolly. You can even see Sitebe playing in the middle. But why I say that is because if you look at their game, if you analyze their game against TS Galaxy, you see even their coach said they were all second best in everything. So it's more of that, because we also talk about Supersport. If you lack concentration, they will punish you. But looking at how Chiefs will approach the game, there won't be too much concentration to this game. So I think they are also even in assessing. They are going to be assessing some few players like Gonzalez to see if he can fit on Saturday. So it's not much of this game, can we win this game or what? But getting a point will be a good result for them. Because if you make changes, then the changes will affect you.
Yeah.
Because mainly you have your strong back four, and then you have to temper with it. Then that will affect you so much, because you are playing with a team that comes from a loss, and then they are looking to redeem themselves. So it's going to be a good battle. But when you look at their attacking players, they don't have depth. Even if we could say how they make substitute, they have to make substitute at the end of the day. But they don't have someone who could say, no, let's put Ranga. Ranga could maybe give us something. Let us put Saile. Yeah, Saile can play, but I think that guy plays for fun. You can't say you put your trust in you, because one day he's on, one day he's off. So looking at their midfield, I don't think they will change much. They are still going with the two, maybe add Sitebe there in the middle, because they can't be risking to put new players and then they don't have balance in the middle. So add one so that they can have a advantage in the middle. Looking at Supersport's midfield, Ndlovu and Magaman, And another factor is that Gavin Hunt is angry. He wants a revenge there. So something must give in there. So
Yeah.
he's going to be mad if he lose this one. So
Okay.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, even if it's going to be a boring game because of the style of play, like Supersport, how they play. But it's going to be an interesting game. And looking at Gavin Hunt, Pitso said he calculates. He's one who's good in maths when it comes to counting points. So he knows if he can get 3 points, and then go rest on the weekend, then we are sorted, or we get one.
Yeah.
But looking at the things, how they stand, yeah, it does not favor Chiefs tonight.
What's your score prediction?
2-0, 2-0. I think there will be a late goals. Second half. Immediately when they make those changes that the people say they will cost them. Immediately when they make those changes, then you will see how Supersport capitalize on those subs. Okay. And then, but second half again is the time where in most of the Chiefs game they start to accelerate and then increase the tempo and attack more. So also Chiefs, they are strong when it goes to second. But if they concentrate and then they don't lose the concentration, I think it's going to be difficult also for Supersport. But second half is where the game will tell which way it is going. Okay. But it is the same way. Just look at the game from what is this team? TS Galaxy, how Chiefs played. I think it's going to be similar like that, where we go analyze and see how things will come out. But mostly second half, it's going to be an interesting game.
Okay. No, thank you, Lucky, so much for joining me. I think if I can just jump in before letting the next panel in. Here are the positives. The positives is that Supersport struggles with pace. So that back two, that back two are not pacey. And if you've watched any of the Supersport games where they've been caught out, it's been on transition, which is what we're led to believe that Kaizer Chiefs wants to do. So Dupria, Modi can have some joy in transition if they get the balls properly, if we play the balls into them timely and in the right places. Then they can have a lot of joy because those two are slow. So that is the positive. The other positive is that defensively, I think I trust Mosimane and Ditokwe when it comes to crosses. So if Supersport United is going to play their normal crossing helicopter football, I think we're okay with it. I think Chiefs will eat that up. We'll stay with that. We'll be happy with that. Now, the issue comes midfield-wise. So we've seen that Castillo has been brought in as more of an attacker. So Castillo becomes a second striker almost. The other 8 becomes a 10, helps out on the wing. They usually play on the wing. And then Mart is left to be the 6, which is fine if you're rotating. But the issue is that when he stays there too long, he tends to have a mistake. He tends to have a mistake in him, and he gets tired and he gets frustrated. And then that's where Supersport might be able to take advantage because they're playing with 2 attackers. When they cross the ball or they look for these corners, they crowd the box. So when they crowd the box like that, there's always somebody lurking. If you see some of their goals, it's been somebody lurking, and then they kick him. They kick the ball. The chaos is caused. Then they score from that. So we're going to see how that goes, and also the concentration of the team. Santi sometimes goes missing. Quinika sometimes looks a bit shaky when he's facing a lot of pressure, which he probably won't face. It will be on the Santi side. Right, so Santi goes missing a lot of the times. Then, of course, we know our keeper. He's 9 out of 10, but he might give you a mistake when pressed and under pressure. Then we also know that Supersport and Gavin is the master of ugly games. Gavin is the master of playing ugly games. Gavin is the master of this helicopter football type thing. He knows that if he can frustrate us for a little bit, maybe he could get some joy a bit later. Similar to what Cape Town City sort of did to us. You know, they frustrated us first half. Second half, when we started attacking, holes started opening up. So Supersport might be waiting for that. On the substitutions, I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys, it takes book writing. 65 minutes, you make changes. My criticism of ntseki is not that. My criticism of ntseki is, do we have different schemes and setups for the different players that we want to bring in? It can't be that we've played a 4-3-3 a certain way. Now we're bringing in Abo Shabalala, we're bringing in Abo Nkosingpile, but we're playing the exact same way that the previous team that just came out, to the previous subs that were made were playing, right? You have to know, again, the strengths of your players and play towards that. I don't want to see Umdu running on the wing because you're not using him properly, right? You want then, if these ball players are coming in, they come closer, they play the ball. If you're playing Gonzalez, if you're playing Chivavairo, yes, they're target men, but at some point, you have to cross the ball to them because those are their strengths. If you're playing Dupree, and Dupree has been playing centrally as a striker, and you move him out wide, play balls so that they can use their pace. But now it feels as though we're trying to accommodate so many different styles of players within this team without making sure that we've done the work to give the players a chance to play to their strengths. Modi, how many times now, guys, have we seen that Modi is an incredible player when he's allowed to come inside? Think of the goals he scored. He doesn't come from being wide. He hardly crosses. He comes closer. He combines with someone, usually Tanzani, and he combines and plays. Create more situations where he can do that. Dupree is fast. Think about the goal versus, was it Sundowns? Goal versus Sundowns or Cape Town City or whatever. Shoulder of the defender, you play the ball through, he puts it into the corner. Even Sahili had some sort of opportunities like that. Give him the ball more like that. Create more situations where he can do that. That's all we need to do. If Castillo is a late runner, far post, create more situations where you're doing that. But it feels as though Chiefs has one strategy, one plan, and they try and play players out of position when they need to do that thing. But in any case, in this match, I don't think our defense is going to be troubled that much, to be honest with you. I think I trust Abu Mosimane there at the back. My only issue is how we're going to score. And it's also because we know exactly what we need to score. Let me bring in the next panel so that we can speak about this. Who was here? I know Zesho was here. I know Jopi was here. I know Lebza has been here for a while. So let me bring in these guys. Mdlela, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
Hola, OT, being there in the panel lab.
So I'm going to throw you straight in. Yeah, you're Gavin Hunt. How do you beat Kaizer? Beat me, Kaizer Chiefs.
You know, for Gavin Hunt, uzodlala le tactical approaches mazinayo. Uzofuna ukatheka ngolali like kid, because seems like ulali like kid is the player that can pump in ama crosses kakhulu. Ulungu is not that great when it comes to ama crosses. So Ulake is obviously gonna try and find Uzukamans and Hopla. If Gavin Hunt is gonna play maybe 4-4-2 and play Uzukamans and Hopla. So it's gonna be that. But midfielder is gonna try and isolate Uzozam keeper Castillo matching I think of course we know which ones of Vele. The upper midfield everywhere is similar to Umthetho, like I'm a player like our Katalo midfielder. So it's gonna try and play those because already so good Castillo is more of a Chiefs threat. Like whenever there's a Castillo like a Chiefs is gonna be a threat. So they will try and midfield, a dominating midfield with Castillo. They might not find the space to find about Pozana linking up about repeat. So but in terms of attacking Chiefs, Gavin Hunt is gonna have a problem because Uhlatshwayo and also Uxolo are not that fast. I'm a defenders wabo. awekho fast and even Lekau, because I saw last game he played Lekau midfielder, he plays Lekau side in, so Kevin Hunt uzoba nalo nkinga. So Kevin Hunt is gonna try and play sky football. Yes, Mazana is gonna try and cross like usadlala old fashioned, but in terms of the combination play, Supersport doesn't rely much of combination play. So for Kevin Hunt to beat Kaizer Chiefs, gonna go with that approach ukuthi uZukamanja is gonna try and hold the ball for ukuthi abo Majaman to come and play to link up nabo Hobla and Lekau to try in and eloke faka ama crosses wire. So they are gonna play similar. I heard Khoza saying ukuthi lama team lawo adlala similar. So that's one of the things we're going to try azozama ukuzenza. But in terms of good defense, it's gonna have a problem because the Chiefs will come attacking because the Chiefs they play more, they rely more to counter attack, and Kevin Hunt doesn't have that to counter attack, but he's gonna try and exploit Ulung because Ulung he can run, he can outrun the defenders the Chiefs. So Kevin Hunt is gonna try and do that to Ulung and link up no Hobla, but Hobla is gonna play a huge role up as every time because Ukropa is one of the best ama goal poachers. We know Ukropa when it comes to scoring ama scrappy goals and also ama volleyball. Is gonna be there trying to exploit some mistake that's gonna be left by Mosimane no the clock. So for Mosimane no the clock whenever they defend, they must make sure that they clear out a ball because Uzukamanja no Hobla they feed on those loose ball la payana in the Chiefs. So Kevin Hunt is gonna be Uzoyangalo approach because I know which he did analyze the Chiefs against the Royal AM and Sundowns. So he might have seen which okay, Chiefs la good defense. Yes, they are coming all right, but pumping in ama balls, catching them large like spaces. It's gonna prove like Kevin Hunt is gonna try and win a game ganjalo because of there's no other way Kevin Hunt is gonna play because it doesn't have ama ball playing midfielders la pakuyu. Undlovu is not a ball playing midfielder. Majaman is not a ball playing midfielder. And Lekau is gonna bring him to midfielder, so it doesn't have that. So uzo rely ngama set pieces, ngama transition. Like Kevin Hunt udlala ibhola predictable. Too predictable Kevin Hunt. That's why he lost against the Arrows. The reason why Kevin Hunt lost against the Arrows because of the Arrows. They were letting him. They were letting Supersport having the ball in midfield, but when it comes to break, counter attack, they caught the Supersport lapana cool. So Kevin Hunt is gonna have a problem ngalokho.
And then I want to ask you, do you foresee him doing something similar to what Stellenbosch did to Kaizer Chiefs, where it was funny, it was a high press but a low block because they know Uti a midfield Agnaba and Durelli. Do you foresee them maybe trying to do something similar to that?
Yeah, like I said, yes, Kevin Hunt and Abo Steve Barker, they play similar. It's gonna do that exactly. But the only problem for him is that ama midfielders work are not compared to ama midfielders the Chiefs. Midfielders the Chiefs are more advanced than ama midfielders ga Kevin Hunt. Because Undlovu akahlali ku position e1. Undlovu umthola sekapusha and akadlale la ku6 la amne akadlale khona, and also Majaman uyapush and they are gonna leave ama spaces for Abo Castillo lapha to link up nabo Modi nabo Mtanzane. So Kevin Hunt is gonna try and play the way Steve Barker tried to approach Kaizer Chiefs. They're gonna attack first from the image like the first half I'm gonna give it to them is Supersport because of they are gonna try Uguti and try and attack the Chiefs because against Stellenbosch, like you said, the Stellenbosch they were close to beating the Chiefs. The only difference they didn't take much chances They didn't take much chances because each defensive Chiefs they are always leaving ama spaces. So imagine if they're gonna leave ama spaces, there's Ukhopla, there's Uzukamanja. The Chiefs might have a problem ngalok. So if they need to close the Oma spaces, the Oma gap. Ukwinika needs to protect like but they will protect Tanabonke. They need to in midfield. It must protect defense. Defense must protect midfield. Because if they're gonna leave ama spaces for Abo Hopla, I'm telling you, Hopla is gonna punish them.
Okay. Zesha, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
How's it?
No, I'm okay, my brother. I'm okay. Tell me, You are Gavin Hunt. I'm giving you Gavin Hunt's job today. Go and beat Kaizer Chiefs for me. How would you do it?
You know how would I do it? I'll firstly try to apply pressure because i-Chiefs the team yethu le inama-player anokenza ama-silly mistakes. Ngekukumamela lokhu ukhuluma ngoMart ukuthi unokuphasa laphaya aluze amabholo unnecessary. So I think kuzoba advantage for i-Supersport ukuthi ithathe lamabhola iba-attack from ngoba vele mawuluza ibhola from ku-middle field uba desperate and then kula uthola ukuthi inamba yini seyikhuphukile and then you lose the ball from the middle and then uHunt azama ukuthi a-attack afide ama-wing back player or ama-winger wakhe ukuthi bazokhona ama-wing ukuthi bazokhona at least ukuthi bafake ama-cross inyana ngoba ile way badlala ngakhona and futhi at least mebangathi bazame ukudlala ibhola today at least bazame uku-add ama-player afana nabo Nangi njengoba menisho ukuthi uthanda i-experience. I think if they want to win this game they should play i-carpet kancane bazame ukuyihlanganise although vele i-strength sabo ukuthi badlele ama-real balls maybe nama-counter lapha nabulungu bayakhona at least ukuthi bagijime kakhulu yabona. So I think they can try as much ukuthi badlale phansi la babona khona ukuthi i-paces khona vele badlaleke lama-long ball wabo or ama-crosses wabo or ama-corner but I think it's going to be difficult because we have I think i-defense yethu is-solid nje. I think i-mistake
especially emoyeni
emoyeni asi-strong kakhulu yabona. So inkinga yethu ila mina inkinga yami uMart naye uHlanti. I think sometimes like mengimamela bokhuthi baluma labantu baluza i-concentration angazi kwenzakalani ngawo especially uMart like umuntu I think you've heard
ngizobuya for i-Chiefs ithi ngifaba then sizokhuluma kahle nge-Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think uGovernment kuzomsiza kakhulu ukuthi azame ukudlala ibhola phansi azame ukubona ama-moments la ukuthi bathule i-bases bakhona ukufaka ama-through ball between i-base ama-defense bakhona ukuthi bakore kahle le yabo ukuthi bayofika lapha bafuna ukuskora ngama-helicopter angiboni ukuthi izobasebenzela but I think uGovernment i-tactician uhlakaniphile like I think he was watching the games away Chiefs and then wayestudisha ukuthi uzoyenza kanjani. I think he will approach the game differently this time adlale maybe with I think he will compact imidlalo lapha ukuthi abo-Castillo bangakho ukuthi baye phambili bazenzele lapha emidlini bona nabo abo Mahamani nalentwana le kuya ku-Pirates uNdlovu. I think indlela yokuthi azame ukuthi minimize nje i-strength sayo i-Chiefs then akhona ukuyihlasela through the middle otherwise ngenye indlela angeke bakhona ukulunga.
Okay. Choppy, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Choppy? Okay, we'll come back. Lebza, welcome to the show. How are you doing? Wait. There we go.
Bijani?
No, Khoza, Lebza, Sikran. Tell me, I'm making you Gavin Hunt today. Beat me Kaizer Chiefs. How would you beat Kaizer Chiefs?
It's easy to beat Kaizer Chiefs. It's easy, you must stop them in the middle. Dominate the game and force them to make mistakes at the back. It's easy. Supersport will win.
Where would you target them?
And stop Budi Patrice. Chiefs. Chiefs, but how about you middle fielder ne? But how about Chiefs middle fielder? The team selling out. Baba dominate of them more middle. That's why Chiefs in Wikimote. But more about where decide where you are wanna so back cross the ball over there. But good.
Marakimo Supersport tiki team crosser. Baska Crossa today.
Supersport. I think ba cross I the way ba tlwaetse go dlala ka teng. Let them cross. Have a crosser yellow, then he must make sure ba fosa the defense achieves the word. Yes, the pause. Or either ba consider the corner. Or maybe ba better or chiefs be better pause ba create the foul limo mo pele ga di 18. Ai ba thola free kick here. Ba ka chiefs.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
It's all the chiefs. Chiefs nowadays
Okay, get la ruta re bue sentle ka Chiefs. Guys, just a reminder, Supersport is number 5 on the log. They've got 10 points. And then Kaizer Chiefs is number 6, if I'm not mistaken. They've got 8 points as it stands currently, but Supersport have a game in hand. Dala, so say Jiga lento manje. You are molefi ntseki. Win me this match versus Supersport. What would you do?
You know, first things, Chiefs, I'm gonna tell you this. Chiefs this match already by winning. What I'm saying is, in Namanambi Pumid, and they have Uluk Flores there. Chiefs is about to sign Uluk Flores there. So Uluk Flores was playing the last, I think, the time Supersport was playing against the Arrows. So already they have an idea on a Supersport. So for molefi ntseki to beat a Supersport, it will have to be ukuthi uCastillo. If uCastillo is on fire, kule match midfield. I saw Mati doing a great job against however, we drew against but the Chiefs in the midfield, they were trying to rotate the ball. This was the first match seeing Chiefs rotating the ball the time they were playing. So kancane you could see ukuthi okay molefi ntseki uyazama ukuhlanganisa because before, like, you can't build a team without beefing up a defense without beefing up a move. So already Chiefs they have a discipline at the back. They haven't considered, like, they considered 3 goals so far. So in terms of defense, Chiefs inayo advantage of Supersport and midfield. So tactical approach Chiefs is gonna be simple. Patrice is gonna be looking to break our lines. Always is gonna look to counter attack, and also Mode is gonna be there trying to take our shorties, linking up no Potana. But for this match, I think Chiefs is gonna need more of Udoli. If Udoli is gonna be available today, if not Udoli, they have no choice but to play who's this boy? Mduduzi, but playing Tanzania gule match le Supersport, I don't think it's gonna be a great idea for because Tanzania uhlala kakhulu ebholweni, like it's not the same player ku Supersport le bedlala ku Cape Town City. Maybe it can happen ukuthi maybe it's still trying to find his feet ku Chiefs, but I feel like Tanzania whenever lapha Chiefs I flow as much as kunabumdu lapha, and also uPotsane no Modi no Patrice. So Tanzania uholda kakhulu ibhola. So for molefi ntseki to beat Supersport naye, he must try and change into kancane, because this thing of playing ama-crosses is not gonna work for him. Uhlanti uzoloka pusha kakhulu forward. That's my concern ngale match, because Uhlanti is always pushing forward, and it's difficult for to track back. Imagine Uhlanti pushing forward and have Ulungu that side. So Ulungu is gonna be able to exploit
and they love that right hand side. Supersport loves attacking a side in Lagahlanti, well.
Yes, because Kevin Hunt was a weakness. He once coached this play. We are a weakness. Weak. So for Chiefs, if molefi ntseki was more brave, he should play reinforced like hey, this is time to play. This is a great match to play reinforced like hey. Okay. And try and okay, because of playing reinforced like reinforced is gonna be linking up no more because of more than or is running. So for molefi ntseki to win this match, I think 1-0 is over right. Winning this match by 1-0 or 2-0. Because of Supersport, I don't see them being a threat to Kaizer Chiefs. Because in midfield dominance Kaizer Chiefs, is gonna dominate Supersport. If only Umat is gonna deal no Ndlovu, I'm telling you, they're gonna take out Supersport machine. If Umat is gonna deal no Ndlovu, and Umachaman is not that of a threat, and Ukhophela is not that of a threat, and with Ukabuza not being there, because Ngekhathi no Kabuza, Supersport were more dangerous, because Ukabuza was holding a ball for Ukhophela, but now they don't have that. Uzukamanja is there, but akekho ne height as Ukabuza and physical as Ukabuza. So for Ntseki to win this match, he needs to play in a counter attack because of we already see Ntseki is always trying to attract the opposition team. They're gonna play high line, and then whenever the opposition team is gonna play high line, you know there's Patrice there, there's Modi there, and there's Upotsane. So Patrice is gonna prove to be an advantage for each of namhlanje because of Supersport is too slow. Who's this guy? Ukulu. We know Ukulu from Bafana. It's too slow. We know Uchulanhlatshwa akekho mnandi ngama 1-on-1. So they need to try and make Supersport commit laphana ku penalty area. Seems like the same way Chiefs used to do under Ipola Laga Manget. They used to cause problems laphana boxing for which when I defend the commit and cause the penalty. So for each Chiefs, they need to do the same thing because Uchulanhlatshwa already we know which Uyakap Uchulanhlatshwa Agasi still defend. It's always gonna do dirty tackles. So for pace that to please is umhlupha kakhulu Uchulanhlatshwa no Xulu. So
but tell me, do you think that we've got that game against Sundowns over the weekend? Which one is he going to prioritize, and are we going to see some changes in this game for Saturday or on Saturday's game?
You know, Tina, we are as found in a Pirate and Sundowns. We don't have equality both on the pitch and both on the field. Tina, we have equality there in the starting lineup that we rely on about to play. Then coming to Epentin, we don't have our players that are not that match fit. Our players are with some Usahile is not that. Usahile is great as a super sub. So we don't have our matches that you can say the match layer we're gonna prioritize this. The match layer namhlanje we're gonna play Kaizer Chiefs B team, and then against Sundowns we're gonna play the stronger teams, because we need to approach this match the same way we're gonna approach the match that we're gonna play in Sundowns. Because the way we also need the 3 points. We also need the 3 points because the way important important. So if Ntseki is gonna come approach no EM10 is more important than the league, then it's gonna have a problem. It might even get training like a Supersport. So it needs to be careful. It needs to approach the match with a winning mentality, like showing Sundowns we are ready for them. So this is a match this is a final test for us going to the match Sundowns to see okay, this is where we can attack. This is where strikers needs to work on the finishing, because the finishing was poor against him. So this is the test for Gucci. We will try and score, and then because now playing against Sundowns, we are already Sundowns in the away goal. So coming to this match, Ntseki needs to try. That's why I'm saying he needs to drop Uhlant and play Frostler. Like play Frostler or even play Solomons. Like Uhlant him drop the match, because already Kevin Hansi, he knows Uhlant Uchunjan. We lost 1-0 against Supersport starting off the year. Kevin Hansi did the same as when they on anything short. He was playing a cool Uhlant, and he managed to get a goal. So Kevin Hunt's approach is gonna be simple. It's gonna be trying to some players wakulungu badlalele ngale Uhlant for Uhlant, because Uhlant is gonna make some mistakes there. And Uhlant, if Uhlant angeke abe khona there, it's gonna leave uDihloko to try and cover lapha, and uDihloko, if uDihloko is gonna move to center back, it's gonna open some spaces for Khoza to exploit.
Okay. Zesho, you are molefi Ntseki tonight. How would you play this game, knowing that Sundowns over the weekend, knowing that your bench is not very strong, knowing that your team might be under a little bit of pressure, and of course knowing that you're playing Kevin Hunt? How would you set this team up to beat Kevin Hunt?
Firstly,
I would firstly continue where I left off, Minamangunzi, because I think the game we played against the Royal, I think we didn't do bad at all. We created many chances, more than I think 8 or 10, if I'm counting properly. So I think he shouldn't know that, but I think who's this guy? I think Umatlou should retain his spot lapaya because he did well. Ama supply work, I think he was ama forward passes right. Anikeza abo to Chris, deliver ama cross for abo Castillo, anikeza bona abo Modi. That's why me ba active balelo game because me ba sebenza Umatlou me ba supply ngala mabholo ukuthi babe active nyana bakhona ukusupply ifront yethu. Mina worried like ngama 9 wethu ama 9 wethu, if you've noticed la past games aswadlaliwe yena ngikhawutha yena uGonzalez ngibale no Chiva Viro ubani no Sayile bayabazama ukuthi bamdlalise i9, but I think igwara zethu like impact ayikhona from Google. I don't know, is it because of maybe ama supply weight or is it because of bona individually webangakhona nje. If you ungabheka qala, when we played to Patrice, when we played no Modi, no Potane, I think we scored those goals. We created goals and we scored those goals. So I mean, I think we should go with that three, or if akafaki uPotane afaqale ngoSayile maybe again Modi, or athi Modi athi Potane, and then ayenze uDuplessis yena i-false 9, because I think mina uDuplessis is much better mekadlala as number 9 because namagoli at least uyawathola noma, even though amesa amaningi I think ingasiza. Coming to midfield yethu, I think mina yabona uMarty is a good player, masiphethe ibhola man, like ngingijada ngama game amanye ngicama ukuthi maybe ngiyamjudge or something, but ngiyambona ukuthi yi weakest point yakhe, ngathi uyathuka mekaphethe ibhola and unokubona ipace abantu bakhona la, like ufuna ukwenza izinto zibe difficult for yena. I think if kwenzeka phela basayine lo but lo Stelis umthetho, I think uMarty uzoba nenkinga because the way ngibona ngakhona, if umthetho uyafika lapha kuzo sacrifice uMarty ukuthi azodlala no Castillo. If uMarty aka improve ku passing game yakhe, yena vele energy yakhe i-right masimaka, but balekile noma siphethe ibhola silisebenzise. So I think that's our problem lapha middle, kusebenza uCastillo kakhulu masiphethe ibhola noma singaliphethanga ibhola Castillo yasebenza, masingaliphetanga ibhola kusebenza naye uyasebenza uMarty, masiliphethe akafani. So akasinikeza ama option amaningi, akadlalisi instead umuntu mekazidlalisa ithi ngikhuluma ngaleli Royal mesidlaliswa uye lo mfana lo uMatlou, sidlaliswa uye uCastillo, nowhere to be found. Mekaqala uyaphasa, angazi ukuthi ubona ipoko, mekabona ama opponent okubonani, uyathuka unikana ngebhola. Coming to naye uhlanti angazi mina angazi, but angibona ukuthi
before siyawuhlanti ukubuza ngemidfield yethu. So for now angachintshana uNtseki lapha ku midfield ngoba bakhona boSithebe, bakhona abozwane noMatlou ukhona, maybe uNjabulo Ngcobo could play DM. Shouldn't we akuna something esingayenza lapha ku midfield, or we stuck with these players until sign umuntu?
Yeah, I think ikhona into engayenza. I have thought very about uNjabulo Ngcobo. I think he would do well if uNjabulo Ngcobo would come in for uMarty azokhona at least ukuthi protect i-back four yethu, and then uCastillo azoba ne-freedom yokuthi noma aye phambili uyazi ukuthi sinomuntu u-defensive and umnandi naye futhi uNjabulo Ngcobo mekaphethe ibhola. So otherwise apart from all the things nje i-middle yethu right, uMarty nje for mina i-weakest point, umuntu mesingamkhipha lapha, or maybe masikhipha uMarty kene sifake uDoli, then yena noma skorela usazokwa sifake yena uDoli, then uDoli asenzele kube yi-playmaker yethu masidlala maybe ngoCastillo lapha at the back, sithi Doli, then uMarty, then sicale maybe ngoModi, sithi yena uSayile, sithi to Patrice phambili, at least kungaba na something. unlike ukuthi itreka zethu like azikahlangani, as I was saying ukuthi baslow abo Chiva Viro nabo, and azisebenzele. If you've noticed, okay, no Black Panther, Mbambiza Black Panther, Mesna, he scored goals, maybe number 9 wethu, and then after those goals now was struggle as number 9 wethu Mesna. Akusuye kuphela like masine ngathi masine 9 nje engekho engahlakaniphanga njengama player afana nabo Shalulile, ama player aversatile afana nabo Lepasa. You understand like zamanje leza bolpasa abo because they don't just hang in there lapha ku number 9 position, like they busy njengabo Haaland lapha ku Man City, like you come back, you help, uyakhona like uyenza yonke into eyenzwa yi-team yonke. So I think we should get the striker ngoba osizamele ntwana lo uduba because nayo is a boy energy, you understand, or even if asimdlali ezafu, okay, second half asimncengise lo mfana because for me I think he can do much better than uGonzalez nayo Chiva, you understand. But for me Ntseki for me like he's, if you can uyabona ukuthi uqale kanjani, akhumbula amagame awethu mawaqala uqale too much defensive. I think he's building uqale nge-foundation kancane kancane lokuyaliya idina zakhe khona manje mawuyabheka ufocus ku middle field kakhulu ukuthi at least ibe ne-supply nyana lapha phambili abantu bazokhona ukuthi bathola amabhola bakora. I-front yethu nayo nje kumele ilungiswe nje, otherwise angiboni ukuthi sokora nge-front line yethu, angiboni.
Just one last thing. Do you think that Kaizer Chiefs, Tina, as Ama fans, we want a certain football, a certain football, Mara Unteki, even Nozwani to a degree, they don't want to play the football as if football bona, and then Tina, maybe there's a difference there. Do you think there's a difference?
Yabona le football njengoba bengisho ngithi uluku yabuilda kancane kancane, like I'm thinking Ntseki ufuna ukuya khona lapho, but I think akafuna ukurashela khona ngoba akafuna ukwenza ama mistakes lawa ayenze angalungisanga i-back four yethu. That's why concede too much goals last season, like akaqalanga uzwani. So I think but so far like angabi like that excited ukuthi yo team yami yadlala njengakuqala vele njengoba mekudlala abo Stanton Fredericks, abo Pule, abo Sara, Muki, like angabi nalo excitement leyo ukuthi hayi manje sesicomplete singacompete ne-Pirates, singacompete ne-Sundowns. Otherwise abakafiki vele kuleyo football leyo thina ama-fans esifunayo ukuthi siyadlala kamnandi, kube ushukela wakhona, kube ushukela oya phambili, ube creative, isisha amagoli njengale Chiefs le mesibukela kudala. Le manje I think it's gonna take time ukuthi sifike lapho because izinto eziningi zimotekile. They had to break down yonke team last season, baqale ngabantu abasha futhi sifake abo Arthur kodwa manje sekucoacha. I think yabona if Ntseki he doesn't do that le nto lesifunayo yokuthi badlale ibhola, I think we should at least give him more of 8 to 10 games. Yabona after lapho ke singamjudge ngefootball le esifuna ukuyibona iChiefs idlala ngoba khona manje vele it's kind of i-shaky nyana le bhola esilidlalayo, like noma siliphethe ibhola sisheshe siluze, yabona sithatha ama-decisions uthole ukuthi mekumele ulibambe ibhola so ufuna ukuphasa ibhola liphumela ngaphandle. So I think siyeza lapho but asikafiki lapho. I think we will get them isikhathi masiloke sihamba yabo.
Okay. Ngathi khuluma inhliziyo lapha ngoba 8 years yinde 8 years mara hayi sizabamela sibabone. Jopi, are you back with me? I think Uchopi is not with us. I think something's wrong there. Lebza, go win me this game. How should he go about winning this game? Lebza, you can just unmute there. Okay, it looks like Ulebza is having a bit of an issue. Then, oh, there we go. Oh, you're here. Ow. Yeah. I'm giving you Ntseki's job for tonight. How would you set up to beat Supersport?
Wow, Patrice college. Ntseki must be careful, on conceding corners, free kick near 18th. He can get something. People are like, re tshwanetse ba sebedise like speed sele sa bo di Patrice go ya go pele le bo ba re ke mambo saile. But they can give you something individually. Cause maybe la rona ke na le bothata lone because of Marty money. I think he still lack development. Yes, he's good player, but talk development because he always has terrible. Is either walk at the sideways or walk pass at the back pass. It's like over predictable, So Chiefs, I wanna arc up Lukisa midfielder, Radominita today, especially more midfielder. I suppose what I wanna say there's nothing special about Supersport, but I think he can beat Supersport. And I like the ball player like Bumdu Shabalala, Bumkosimbi Pilengobo, especially Amu Middle Huakopil, Wasalokai.
The same question like Zesho. The ball player, we want to see that type of football. Does the team want to play that football?
Ke nagana gore ntseki man ba confused, the coach the Chiefs.
No, sometimes Zwani, Kevin Hunt, Khoza from Koko, Midendop. It's been similar. There hasn't been the ball player really. So Rona, is it as fans Erebatlan Twena Kankane? Or does the team also want to play it? Because how about sign bo to pray bo modi bo potsane bo Wi-Fi password keman Gonzalez bo Chivavairo. It doesn't seem as though, man. The way badlalang ka teng, it doesn't seem as though ba batla go beya poloko fatshe.
Management ya rona lone ke bothata ne. I think management it's more pressure ke defend le bone karaba tlhole ba enjoy go like the way Chiefs ele ka teng, the way Chiefs ne jala ka teng wa bona. So but I still can't understand how they want to play. Like maybe it's early. I can say maybe it's early.
Yeah.
Because it's like game day 5. Maybe I'm after 10 games. It's like one or change the player, the coaches. So what I was having so. But for now, I did tell the way. But I was having because I guess the first game I think they dominated the game. I get out like a hopper on Bazalale. Then the second it was Sundowns. By defend by defend, but sometimes Chiefs, must sign players like Abu Sirino, like good thing. Baba Kanaka. I wanna hallo player, no man. Play the code at the time. Look at at least Linyana Mufildi. Lobe Lunken 12 man. Lunke advantage Louis Hamkel okay, I don't want to Samka Sol so because I want to pay dependent on Khoza IDCB. Then because we are paying for the best, but for now I think the three ships Bungata that's one but Samikialam Chelet yeah,
I think if I can just jump in as well. Wait the king, I'm one of the people that says that I don't mind what type of football the coach is playing. I'm not a person who want to dictate to the coach to do this and this. But the one thing that I want is that at least have the balls and the courage to play your football. We can say whatever we wanted to say about Midendop. Midendop didn't waste time to make us happy through play. He played his helicopter, he trusted his helicopter, he got the players that played the helicopter, and they played it. I think issue at Kaizer Chiefs has been that nobody wants to do the full-on thing. If you want to play, I'm a ball player, then have balls enough to play a ball player. Don't bring in Abu Chivavairo. Don't bring in Abo Gonzalez, because we see how they're going to play. Make sure that Abo Mdu, Abo Zwane, those players are getting game time because they're naturally ball players. If I want to make it work. But you can't say that we want to do ball playing. Meanwhile, half of the team is set up for Khoza. Some of the team is set up for over the top, for pace, pace. Half of the team is doing this, half of the team is doing that. You have to go out and say, guys, this is the football that we want to play, and we're going to be confident enough to play our football. If Ntseki wants to play speed and play balls over the top to play more Dipotsane, then play balls over the top. But the issue is that now we're sacrificing players. I don't think Chivavairo and maybe even Gonzalez, I don't rate Gonzalez, Mara, I don't think Chivavairo is a bad player. I just think that they don't have a plan for him. So then if you don't have a plan for the player, rather don't play the player. Rather don't waste time. Okay, this man who wants to header the ball, but you're not going to give him the ball to header. Yeah, but don't waste time. If you're not going to play the ball on the ground, let's combination. Let's come Shabalala then. Because now Shabalala is running out on the wing. There's no plan, So for me, I want Ntseki to pick his style of play and stick to his style of play and play that play fully. Don't try make us happy. Don't try do whatever because you'll lose your job. Rather get the results and then we'll see the rest later. But if you're going to play the half-half all over the place, you're going to kill a lot of players. Abom Tanzan, I don't think Tanzan is a bad player. But if you watch the way Chiefs plays, there's no room for Tanzan. They bypass the midfield. So why bring Tanzan in the first place when you could bring in a player that's going to play that thing? Mina, I even say, rather go Mart, Njabulo Ngobo, and let Castillo be a second striker because that's what he's doing. Don't waste it by having a ball player in a game where you're not going to play the ball player. Ndlela, can you give me your final statements for today and also your prediction?
Namhlanje Chiefs is gonna put the whole DSTV Premiership on notice. Okay. Namhlanje Supersport iyadliwa. Namhlanje Supersport iyashawa. Like it or not, abantu they can talk and say Molefi Ntseki doesn't have ama-tactics. Yes, even nakubafana bafana, Molefi Ntseki we were just playing football It doesn't have ama-tactics. The formation that he relies on. But today it's a must win for Kaizer Chiefs. This is a game the Chiefs need to win. Kevin doesn't need to win this match. But the Chiefs need to win this match, and the Chiefs is gonna win this match. Cause I already saw Uguchu Kevin Hunt, he overthinks. First match against Richards Bay, I think he won 2-0. He played with that boy. That boy got man of the match, Campbell. But afterwards, he started to drop that boy on Bege Benjin. And now the weakness of Supersport, I saw it, is that guy Ufumatsai. Ufumatsai is the weakest link that I defend. Lapana and to come to a fullback. Ufumatsai and that guy Johnson, those are the weakest link in Supersport, and the Chief is gonna exploit those guys. So because of I saw Guchula like is not playing with natural position go Supersport. He's not playing with natural position. He's playing with midfielder. And the midfield is not the same like Mazi. Yes, there was a time like he was playing with midfield. I think who Cape Town City. He was doing well. But at this time I think he's more advanced and the way sometimes and double like are those players that rely good system. So Sundowns it was easy because like they were playing more good system. And look Hunt that doesn't have a system there. I got a system. Same as Abo Zukamanje. Zukamanje ku Pirate ubekwazi ukuthi he was not a starter. He's a squad rotation player. And he knew that. So Supersport Kevin Hunt is starting Uzukamanje. And Uzukamanje is not that effective the way he was go Orlando Pirates. Uzukamanje are those type of players you need to play them as a super sub. Same as Abu Sahile. Usahile is a super sub who cares the Chiefs. Molefi Ntseki should not even think of playing Usahile like today, starting Usahile. But my concern is Ntseki, I really wish ukuthi he could start ngoranga Shivaviro. I really feel like this is the game to play Oranga Shivaviro. The way they mention Akona, it favors Aboranga and play Usite, because you cannot play Umatlo today. Umatlo, yes, he did well against AM, but I really feel like kule match we need umuntu okapayo, we need Usite, because you know ama team ka Kevin Hansa did. Kevin Hansa uyakapa.
Yeah.
So ntseki na he needs to be aware of that, because ama players ka Kevin Hansa ayakapa. Like every season, it seems like Kevin Hansa there's always a player on a red card. So they should be wearing aloko and try ukuthi play players that are more physical, and playing Motsepe there ku midfield over Umatlo. I saw ukuthi he likes dancing on the ball, but there's nothing that he really does. We want him to link nabo Modi, nabo Patrice. So last game I saw him spinning kushasha. I don't know so I'm not happy about that. So we are always encouraging Kaizer Chiefs and complaining as fans ukuthi they must play Umatlo umnandi. But the moment they play Umatlo, like Sigunini against AM, there's no reason for you to dance on the ball. Link up Nabo Castillo and show us something. That thing must do it Ematlobo. This is idiskitv Premiership. This is a high level of football. You can't be dancing in Nepal and for nothing. So this is a win for Kaizer Chiefs. I'm gonna go training for Kaizer Chiefs.
Hey, Tanko,
Siyashaya namhlanje, I'm telling you. Supersport record. Siyashaya namhlanje. Hayi. Azokhala abantu, ngizobona.
Besho, can you give me your closing statements, but also just your prediction at the end? Closing statements and prediction.
Okay, mina ngicela ukudifa kancane kuyidlela yabona, maybe sometimes sibona ngokungahluki yabona. Okay, if vele Umatlo they won't field Umatlo, I think akekho umuntu ongadlala ispace saka Umatlo better than Udoli. But I think I prefer Umatlo better than Umdantsane. Understand? Going kithi nje kumele masiya lapha abafana bethu nguze ulebza akhuluma ngama individual brilliance ukuthi ucoach sometimes meka ngena plan ama player nawo sometimes kumele azicabangele azenzele iplan. Akumelanga ucoach njalo ngesonke isikhathi aloku acabangela ama player ukuthi wena yenza so nabo ngokuhlakanipha kwabo ama football player ama professionals labantu laba kumele ba strategize, kumele benze bazama baze neplan ukuthi yazi akukhona ukuhlangana la, azama ukuhlanganisa la sokhona ukugora. I think going to the game futhi I think uHlanti, I think mengifuna ukukhuluma ngoHlanti. uHlanti, I think he won't play this game because he's on a yellow card. I think they will definitely play Frost like today. I think uHlanti will play on Saturday because ucoach wethu naye uyamthanda, or maybe he's a better left back than uDove and uMashiane. I don't know, but I think we have to. I think kumele silungise la position naleya yakaMartu kuya phambili ukuya kule game futhi. I think abo Gonzalez nabo abo Chivavero kumele baphakamisa ama socks. Sometimes ngifeel ngathi like ba lazy for me, I understand, like they don't abasebenzi ngalendlela leyo. We don't have to ukuthi masiphethe amagorilla phambili expect mele livuke nasenyaweni wena mfethu, livuke sikhona ukulidlala nabo masingena plan le area mele livuke la enyaweni sikhona ukuthi basidlalise nabo, sibe naleyo manpower, sibe ne-manpower yokuthi ibhola siyalidlala nathi lapha. If ivela sikhona ukudlala basivalile maybe supply yethu ukuthi sifake ama-cross, understand, ngeke so dependela kubo ngoba masifake abo I think the most into esithembela kubo ukhetha mangathi abheka ne conversation isifana, like we only trust ukuthi bazosetela. What about kanti mebaya lapha kuyodlala ikhanda kuphela or kuyodlala nenyawo, nasenyaweni kumele badlale, you understand. I think kumele kube njalo the supply yethu. I think masifika futhi nakuma certain areas we tend ukuthi sijahe ukuthi singene 18, then ila yabona mawucala ukujaha nasempilweni, mawucala ujahe ila wenza ama mistake khona, kumele wenze izinto zakho ukhululekile, silidlale masifika lapha eyafini labo. If asikhona ukubhoboza, okay libuyisele la e-central middle isikhoneni ukudlala until we go through to the final spaces and try ukuthi lento yokuthi masifika lapha kuma-18 sofuna ukwenza angeke isisebenzele and going to kule game futhi Supersport not just i-Supersport ama-team amaningi mwadlala ayazimisela mwadlala ne-Sundowns akumelanga masifika and sidlala away and akumelanga masifika lapha sithathe i-Supersport lightly because asisodlala nama-tactics only aka-Gavin Hart sodlala nabantu abayozimisela ukudlala against Chiefs abantu abafuna ukuprova i-point njengabonange against i-Kaizer Chiefs. I think kumele sibe careful when going to them, kumele bazimisele nabo abo-Patrice bekumesa ama-show goals ama-open net kumele ibhola lihlale phakathi kwanet bangadlali bajahile ukuthi kumele ngikore kumele nathi bangathathi i-pressure yethu as in like asibafuni or bayithathe kube motivation ukuthi yazini kumele nyokorela ama-fans wami kumele nyokorela i-Chiefs understand akumelanga le game leli siyakulo silithathe kancane ngoba kuzoba igame elinzima ngifuna ukutshela even though I think mina sizowina but I think it's going to be a difficult game njengoba mengisho vele not Supersport all the teams when they play big teams like they stand up labo bafuna ukuzibona abadlalela i-Sundowns bafuna ukubona abadlalela i-Chiefs understand so yiyo inkinga siyoba nayo nje masifika not just ama-tactics aka-Gavin but uNtseki mina so far as I was saying let's give this gentleman a chance e-Europe now ngiyawo hand-tag lapha bamthela induku abakakhulumi ngokumxosha kumele simgayeni nje aphefumule into nje mengiwarithi ngaye bekungamelanga for mina uzwane am-assiste season because into ama-assista ngayo into mekazenza la season that's obvious but uzoba-assista into ngikhala ngayo i-technical team yakhe I think it should change even though yena yasala it's fine I think we should change the technical team ukuya phambili but I think all the way nje le phambili I think they're gonna change but I think the game maybe singayibina 2-0 maybe or 1-0 hayi iscore esikhulu
Okay, 2-0 or 1-0. Okay. Ngazi ukuthi amabheto yabantu azothini. Lebza.
Yeah.
Let's kupa wikwale and give me your prediction for tonight. So tell me final statements, then prediction for tonight.
You know, I think Chiefs will win this match, nah? We just need to create more chances and be aggressive, especially more final third. Release go misa di goal. Chiefs na le bothata ba ya create ne but ina le bothata ba go misa di goals man. Ish. Like wa bona khona go shapa pale tshwanetse ba make sure but I think Chiefs will win 2-1 or 1-0 a ke bone Supersport win because of Renali individual players like abo di Bruce Castillo if le ba tshameke bo Bodoli then and you must be creative especially more midfield because Chiefs in aliboko about if like the one the opponent the total red card I say like advantage you like go go ba more skillful thata ya mo midfield then create the chances for the striker the goal Chiefs on but today you show ya win maybe 2-1 or 1-0
Danko 2-1 1-0 let's see wait Lawrence Kohler thank you to the panel. Lawrence Kohler has confirmed that Kaizer Chiefs have agreed terms with Stellenbosch for midfielder the Ox Bongiseni Mthethwa. He's set to arrive in Johannesburg imminently to undergo his medical ahead of signing a 3-year deal. So we got our wish. So let's see what's happening. Mr. Ochi can't hide his excitement about Mthethwa. Your face just brightened up. No, I was looking for it. So I also looked this side. But guys, for me, I think this particular match is going to end 1-1. I think it's going to be one of those draws that they're gonna play. We're gonna have some chances. They're gonna have some chances, but I believe we're probably gonna score first, then Supersport second, and then it's going to be a 1-1. That's what I believe. There's not too much more I can say about that. I'm going to be here 7:30. I'm going to try something tonight where we follow both matches. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to be something to try. If you haven't followed, please follow. We'll be back again 7:30. I'm going to start it. I'm going to end it the way I started it. Guys, please support us, content creators who bring you the platforms, who do these things, because we really do need you guys to support us. So in my case, I wanted to monetize through Facebook and YouTube ads. I'm not allowed to. So I beg that please can you guys help me out by donating to the platform to keep it up. It is self-funded. It's becoming a little hard. So if you guys could please help me out and just support me there. The account details, there's a link in my profile, a link tree in my profile with account details. It's a Capitec account on Facebook. On my profile, in the bio, there's a account there. So please, if you can donate, no if you can donate something, that would be very, very helpful. But like I said, I'm going to be back 7:30 to cover. We're going to do the watch-alongs for the two games. I'm going to have both games playing. I'm going to do some creative things with the live in order to cover both games. So please follow me there and watch the game, and we'll be able to watch together. But thank you guys so much for joining me. M-Floor, unfortunately, there's a lot of people, but it's fine. We're gonna jump into it tomorrow. Like I say, Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. I am here. Monday to Wednesday, 8 p.m. I'm here. We also do the watch-alongs. And if you miss any of the episodes, you want to hear what the panels were speaking about. Yesterday, we spoke about Pirates and Sundowns. The day before, on Monday, we had an actual agent in who was speaking to us about that. The agent side of stuff. We've spoken about the African Football League, all of those things. You can catch all of those on Facebook and on YouTube in full. Please follow here, follow the Facebook page, subscribe on YouTube, and then we can go from there. So guys, I will see you guys again 7:30. Battle of the Stars and the Clasico, the Kick and King, Skop and Donder Clasico. You guys are the worst. Thank you, his son, for the 2 gifts. I'll see you guys 7:30.